All right, so how well do you actually understand logarithms? Well, if you have a pretty good basic understanding of logarithms, this should be a very easy problem to answer. Matter of fact, let's take a look at the question. We have log or logarithm base 5 of 3. So what is this equal to? Well, this is a multiple choice question, and our answers are A, 15, B, 3/5, C, negative 2.9, and D, 0.68. All right, now feel free to use a calculator, but if you can figure this out, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section. I'll share the correct answer in just 1 second. Then, of course, I'm going to fully explain how to solve this problem. And if you don't know what a logarithm is, stick around because I want to give you a basic introduction to this concept, and you'll be able to understand the answer as well. But before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John, and I have been teaching middle and high school math for decades. And if you need help learning math, check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video helps you out, or if you just enjoyed this content, make sure to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. All right, so one more time, here is the problem. We have log 5 of 3. Now, again, some of you might be like, hey, Mr. YouTube Math Man, I don't even know what this is. Well, if you've ever seen this log button on your calculator, this is what we're talking about. Okay, so now, of course, this is a broader topic in mathematics called logarithms, but all we're trying to do here is calculate this simple value. All right, so let's take a look at the answer. The correct answer is D, 0.68 or approximately 0.68. Now, if you got this right, you definitely get a happy face, an A plus, a 100%, and a certificate of excellence for being a certified professional expert in the area of calculating logs. But this particular problem, you do need your calculator, unless you're an old school type of person like me, because way back in the good old days, yeah, I'm talking like 40 years ago plus, you actually would have to use, well, for the most part, your book. Okay, they had tables where you actually had to go, look in the back of your book, do some calculations to figure this out. But if you don't have your book, you're going to need your calculator to get the right answer. So that is fantastic. But again, that is what we did here is find a logarithm, but more precisely, what we had to use is something called the change of base formula. So even if you have your calculator, if you don't understand this change of base formula, you couldn't have figured this thing out. So you appear to be a certified professional expert if you got the right answer. Again, it's approximately 0.68. Okay, so let's go and get into this right now. So here is our problem. Now, let's suppose you are a math student and you come across this problem and you're like, hey, Mr. YouTube Math Man, I have no idea what to do here. Should I guess? Absolutely. Okay, unless you're going to get penalized for an answer, always take a guess. But if you look here, you might be thinking, well, there's a 5 here, there's a 3 here. Maybe we multiply, I'm going to guess 15. Well, that is a good guess, but that is wrong. Well, maybe we take this 3 and we divide it by 5, so maybe it's 3/5. Well, that's even a better guess, but that's wrong as well. So now you might be saying, all right, Mr. YouTube Math Man, show me how to do the math. Well, the only way to really get this problem right is to calculate the answer, but this is not that difficult. Now, before I get into this, some of you may have never studied logarithms. So where do you study this in math? And now this is different from most people, or well, let me just say this much. Most people will learn about logarithms if they ever studied it in this manner. Okay, that was a terrible way to phrase that, but I think most of you understand what I'm talking about. All right, so let's talk about high school level mathematics. So for the most part, most people start off in high school or secondary school. They start off with a full year of algebra. Then typically they move on to like a full year of geometry, and then they move on to like a second year of algebra. So that's like algebra 2, college algebra, intermediate algebra. There's all different courses and whatnot, but basically it's a continuation from what you learned from your first year of algebra. So generally at this level, you learn about logarithms. Now, logarithms are extremely important because they allow us to solve exponential equations. So if I have an equation like 2x is equal to 17, This is an exponential equation because the variable x is in the exponent spot of this power. So we cannot solve this equation unless we use logarithms. Now, of course, I'm not going to teach you all this. If you want to learn more about solving exponential equations and logarithms, I'll give you some specific recommendations here in a second. But this is why we need logarithms. It's a huge topic in mathematics. Now, to calculate, though, a log of a number, the logarithm of a number, well, this is where these two buttons on your calculator come in pretty handy. Okay, the first is a log and the next is ln. So if you don't have a calculator handy, you could just look online and pull up a scientific calculator, a graphing calculator, but you'll locate these buttons here. And let's take a look at an example here of just taking a logarithm of a number. So we're going to use log. Okay, now this is called the common log, and ln is called the natural log. I'll give you some more information on this in a second, but let's use this button on your calculator. Now, you don't even know, or some of you don't even know what a logarithm is, but we're just going to calculate the value, then I'll tell you what this means. Okay, so if you want to follow along, that is perfectly fine. So go ahead and find the logarithm of 100. Okay, so you can type in 100, hit the log button, or log 100, hit enter. You'll see that the answer is 2. All right, so that is awesome. What does this mean? Because some of you are like, yeah, Mr. YouTube Math Man, you understand, but I still don't understand what's going on. Well, this has something to do with bacon and eggs. And you're like, bacon and eggs? Are you talking about breakfast? Breakfast? Yes, indeed, I am. So here is how we can think about it. All right, so log BA equals E. So bacon and eggs, that's just a little memory aid. Bacon and eggs, BA equals E. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, let me show you here real quick because we're going to understand this example problem here before we get to our actual problem. Okay, so the common logarithm on your calculator, when you have this log button, so a logarithm has a base. Okay, now the button, this log button on our calculator, the common log, we just generally write log. Okay, but actually there is a 10. This is log base 10. We never write the base 10, but there is a base 10 there. Now, our problem that we're going to be dealing with is log base 5. Okay, now, if it's other than log base 10, we put in, if it's not the common logarithm, you have to write the specific base. But if it's just log, it is implied that there's a base 10 here. All right, so this is what you want to kind of keep in mind, bacon and eggs. So log BA equals E. So here, the 10 is our base. Okay, now when we're talking about powers like 2 to the third power, 2 is the base, 3 is the exponent, and the answer is what? 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So 8 is the answer. Okay, so we're just going to follow this pattern right here. So log of 100 equals 2 means what? Well, the base here is 10, all right? So this is log base 10. So what's our exponent? Our exponent is over here, okay? So our exponent is 2, and our answer is right here. So 10 squared is 100, okay? So this is our answer, this is our base, and this is our exponent. Okay, so when we have exponential functions, you can write those exponential functions as logarithmic expressions and vice versa because logarithm and exponential functions are inverses of one another. Okay, I could be going off on a full-on math tangent here, but I'm going to kind of keep it simple. But, it does us no good to calculate the answer to this problem unless you understand, what we're doing. Okay, so we're calculating the logarithm of a number, but what we're really doing here is thinking about that bacon and eggs, right? So this is log base 10. Actually, I'll write this down one more time for those of you that want to see it again. So log of bacon equal and eggs, all right? So base, answer, exponent. All right, so which of course is the base to the exponent is equal to the answer. All right, so that is a simple example problem, but we have a situation here, and on our calculator, we only have two buttons. We have the LOG button, that's log base 10, okay, specifically log base 10. This is again called the common logarithm, and then we have ln, and that is log base e. Now, e is the natural base e. That is a number, if my memory serves me right, it's like 2.718, something around that. I should really know that number much better because e is one of the most important numbers in mathematics. But anyways, that's what e is. So this is the natural log, this is the common log, but these are our only two buttons on our calculator. So we have log base 10 and log base e. Well, what we're trying to do here is figure out the problem to log base 5. How can we do this, right? Well, unfortunately, there is no log base 5 button on our calculator. So what should we do? Well, we need a formula, and I kind of talked about that formula in the beginning of this video. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and show it to you right now. This is the formula we need. This is called the change of base formula. And this will allow us to calculate the value of any logarithm irrespective of its base. Okay, so here's the formula, log base b of a. Okay, and of course this follows our pattern. So if we have a log, whatever base b is of some number a, that's equal to log a. Okay, so this number is going to be the numerator. Now notice this log. This can be the common log, natural log. The base isn't important. We're just going to find the log of a, and we're going to divide that by the log of b. Okay, so if you're a little bit confused here, I'm going to show you exactly how to use this formula in our little example. But before we do that, I need you to do this, and that is to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I need your help. You see, I am not shy to ask for help. Okay, so you shouldn't be shy to ask for help either if you're struggling in math. The worst thing you can do is try to figure everything out on your own. Now, it's good to try to figure things out on your own, okay? Like, hey, you should work hard and you shouldn't give up too easy. You really should, try to, figure things out on your own. Okay, so now I'm kind of, contradicting myself. What I'm talking about is sometimes you run into a stumbling block. At that point, you don't want to just get frustrated and just, really make things tough on you. Look for someone who can teach you some math at that particular point. Maybe it's your entire math course that you need to learn. Maybe you're just relearning mathematics, but if you're struggling in math, you need to move on, okay? And that's when it makes sense to get some help. So if you need help in mathematics, basically a couple suggestions. One, I have like 3,000 plus videos on my YouTube channel, and I'm posting videos pretty much every day from basic math to advanced math. So I make all these videos for you. And my goal is to try to teach math in a clear and understandable way. So you can check those videos out. But if you're interested in really learning from me, you need to go to my full main math courses. You'll find links to those in the description of this video. And what we're talking about here, logarithms, exponential functions, etc., etc., you need to check out one or two courses of mine. That would be Algebra 2 and or Pre-Calculus. Okay, so you'll really learn much more than what we're talking about here. But again, I need your help to reach as many people as possible. It really does count for YouTube. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you can get my latest videos. All right, so let's get back to this problem. Now that we understand the change of base formula, this is a critical formula because you're going to encounter a lot of problems in math that are not just log base 10. It could be like log base 7. It could be log of whatever. And you need to be able to calculate the value of these things. So again, what we're going to do is take log of the number, okay, that's going to be our numerator, log, and this could be any log. It could be the natural log, or it could be the common log, it doesn't make a difference. And then we're going to divide that by log base b, okay? So let's go ahead and actually use the formula right now. All we have to do is follow the pattern, okay? So a is the number, this is our a, okay? So we're going to find the log of a. And here we can just use, again, the common log, all right? There's no rule that we have to use any other base, okay? It could be the natural log. It could be ln3. It will work as well, okay? But typically, you're not going to use, the only time you really use ln is when you're dealing with base e. All right, so we're going to have log 3, and we're going to divide that by the log of 5, okay? So we're just following the pattern of this little formula. And again, this is the change of base formula. And when we calculate this, we're going to get approximately 0.682. There's some other decimals, but I just kind of rounded things off to make this answer nice and simple. Okay, so a very, very important formula that you need to know about logarithms. And hopefully, those of you out there that didn't even know what a logarithm is, or was, or is, whatever the case is, um, you know, you have some basic understanding, hopefully, of why we need to use logarithms. And you should also appreciate that, you are learning logarithms right now because back in the good old days, I'm talking like early 80s, it's definitely like the 70s and the 60s, obviously. Anytime, I would say, I was studying this in high school, like in the early 80s or so. And at that time, yes, we had calculators, but we also used tables in the back of our textbook. So if you ever come across an old school, high school level algebra book or whatnot, or trigonometry book, we used tables. So I know a lot of you out there can relate to that. And you had to get really good at that. Now, for me, some of you might be saying, hey, Mr. YouTube Math Man, you were lucky because you didn't have to use a slide rule. Now, if you don't know what a slide rule is, those things are totally awesome. They're like a ruler with a little slide thing, and there's a little um, scales. Then slide rules are absolutely amazing as well. So you can actually calculate logarithms using a slide rule, but you have to know how to use a slide rule, which is a whole different skill in and of itself. Okay, so with all that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your math adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.